industry, you will have an edge. You will do where other people are struggling to do it because you were disciplined. It's as if you are playing. Just two more points. Social media. Why should I know the truth? Everybody has a voice, but not everybody is telling the truth. Not everything that you see on social media is true. Some of them is like that rice that I described. That they left it for 3 days, they put it, yes, it's like that rice. And so when you go online, whether Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever is social media platform, some of the information that is there is like that rice. If you eat it, let me leave the rest to your imagination. So I have just a few minutes. Let me wrap up my teaching. Then why should I be the best? Why should you be the best? Because you can. Because you can. Because you deserve it. And because you will like the view from the top. It looks beautiful from the top. And finally, at this point, I wanted to share a story, but I'm not sure I have the time. Please allow me 2 minutes. All right. You see, the reason why I wanted to share this story is because when I was in secondary school, from SS1 to SS3, I wouldn't call myself the most intelligent student, because then in school we had different classes. There was white, diamond, gold. So the FICO, as it were, they put them in white. Then, you know, so I wasn't in that class. And even after my WAEC and my SSC, I had most B's and C's, but it was average. So I got into 100 level. They say, when you enter 100 level, it's your best year that you have to get your grades right and all that. I still continued with that, my average life. I beg Google, shall do them anyhow. By the time I finished 100 level, when I saw the results, I said, mathematics, let my people go. I just saw my GPA. I said, I cannot continue like this. So. And then I decided that I can do it. So when I started 200 level, I said, it's me and this school. I went to University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. I said, it's me and this UNAB together. I went for every class. I made sure I sat down in front. I went to the lab. I did everything. When I finished from class, I went back home. I made sure I digest. You see, because when you study and you don't go back home immediately to absorb it, you will not remember. And you see, by the way, if you are in the class and you are looking at somebody that is first position, you are wondering, how can I be first position like this person? Let me just tell you the secret. Immediately they finish teaching you that thing, that very day, go home and study it and make sure you understand. Because if you don't, it's not likely you ever understand it. It's not likely. It's because of the way the mind works. And remember, you are being educated through your mind. So you have to use your mind. It's a tool, it's an instrument. And you need to be skillful in using that instrument. So you have to immediately, let me continue my story. I said there was a particular course, statistics. Hey, I sat down with it. Yeah, me and you. I ensured that I finished it. Interestingly, there was a particular one, technical drawing. I didn't do technical drawing in secondary school. So because of the course I was studying, I had to do technical drawing in 200 level. So I had no clue. I had to go and look for somebody to explain it to me. And I understood. 2 days to the exam, there was a lady that came and she has not been attending technical drawing class. She said, Buki Bash, come and save my life. I taught her. By the time the results came out, the person that I thought, although yeah, I had an A, she had a C. Like I so knew it. By the time the results came out, my 200 level, I was a first class student. No, I'm not even, I can give you the data. You can go and check. I'm not even, it was because I decided all my life, I have never been a first class student since I started school. But one day, I just decided, say, it's okay, I'm not doing it. I'm done with being average. And I gave it what it deserved. And I got it. You can. There's nobody that cannot. If they told you that you don't know book, it's a lie. Go and read, you will know it. Yes. And finally, my last point. Why am I here? Because I want to be the best version of myself. The world needs you to be the best. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to me. That's why you're listening to me tell you all that I'm telling you. You want to be the best. We want the best version of you. You deserve it. Your parents deserve it. And they will all be proud of you. Thank you very much.
Say, Auntie Buki, we love you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much, Buki Bash. She has educated us very, very, very much. Now, I know one or two things you guys have picked out of it. I, personally, I picked one thing. Do you know that? Discipline. Who can spell it for me? Discipline. Oh yeah, give me a chorus spelling. Discipline. Oh yeah. What is that? Discipline. Yes. Discipline is the one that will tell you to read your books instead of watching Netflix. Discipline is the one that will tell you that your friends are going to jump over the fence to go and eat somewhere when your other ones are reading in the class. It is not easy. That is why it is called discipline. It's depriving yourself from those things that looks like enjoyment because you want to focus on reality. That is what will take you there. Please put your hands together for her. All right. I don't want to bore us. We are moving on. I'm going to call on our next speaker soon. But before that, I would like to invite these students, bright minds, intelligent, talented students, to come and give us a talk show. Put your hands together for Christ Heal Students as they come up to the microphone. Please put your hands together for them. They are going to give us a talk show. We have someone representing Singapore. Singapore, what's your name?
Ibrahim Teniola.
Ibrahim Teniola. Okay, hold on first. Now you go call last. We have somebody representing Germany. What's your name?
Oginye Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. We have someone representing Russia. What's your name?
Emmanuel Ebube.
Emmanuel Ebube. And we have someone representing the USA. What's your name?
Daniel Naboy.
Daniel. And finally, we have someone representing our very own Nigeria. What's your name?
Deborah Ogunsime.
Deborah Ogunsime. Na Nigeria I call you. Oh yeah, call and where you Deborah who?
Deborah Ogunsime.
Ogunsime. You got to put Deborah Ogunsime. I used to speak in German. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I introduced them earlier on, they're about to do a talk show and emphasis on the book that we want to launch today. Which title is, who knows the title? No. The title of the book. Okay, now what's the name of the book? The name of the book is Virgins. V-I-R-O spell. Now they will emphasize on chapter 4. That's what their talk show is about. Please put your hands together for them. Who starts first? All right. So we want to start from that of our very own Niger.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Weekend Boost. I'm your host, Busola Adele, and here with me are
Maria.
Jane.
Augustus.
Michael.
Today we'll be discussing on the roles of social values and norms as solutions to social vices in the 21st century. Do stay with us. Social norms and values are very important in society. How does this negate accountability to social norms and values in our everyday lives? Jane, I would like to ask for your inputs.
I would like to define what societal norms and values connote under the umbrella of society.
Go ahead.
Societal norms are rules, guides, and expectations of what is important and worthwhile. Values depict that certain characters are right, moral, and ethical, therefore making these characters very desirable in the society. Back to your question, Busola. It is true that most young adults live by the phrase, "It's my life." I too belong to the same school of thought. I do not take pleasure in being spoon-fed on how to live my life. Neither do I like being told what to do and what not to do.
So based on your response, do you consider yourself a conformist or a non-conformist, as you do not like being guided?
I'll say I'm a non-conformist. I'll say I'm neither, sorry. Busola, I believe that every human being is born with intuition and common sense. As long as my actions are not in opposition with justice, fairness, and equity, I am fine. The only divergence for one not living up to his or her true expectations is born out of irresponsibility.
But you can't stay on the fence either.
I'm not staying on the fence, just hear me out. I've said that. I'm not staying on the fence, just hear me out. As I said before, I am neither nor a conformist. So as long as I'm doing the right thing in coupled with the rules and regulations of my particular environment, I am fine.
Can I say something? Yeah, thank you. I think I would like to expatiate and bring to simple terms what Jane has to say. I'll do so by citing two examples. Take, for example, I have a neighbor I highly dislike, I can really dislike. Maybe he Maybe he intruded on my personal space and stepped on my toes several times. An irritant, you may call him. Why can't I just get rid of him without leaving a trace, silently?
The fear of going to jail if eventually you are caught.
Tolerance.
Common sense.
My second example, what stops me from opening a girl I have a crush on but said no to me?
Self-control, I suppose.
Fear of the consequence.
Michael, please hold your thoughts for a second. I would like to break up your response into response based on innate behavior and response based on acquired behavior. Innate behavior having to do with your inherited traits and acquired behavior having to do with your interactions and what you've been taught.
But I'll say that's why I said I'm neither nor a conformist to societal norms and values. Because in the world today, the world's societal norms is derived from one just being rationally modest to his or her actions. I believe that man is born to know good from evil. And I don't think a normal, rational person on a normal day should want to kill or get rid of his or her neighbor because of bias or dislike.
But such social vices are prevalent in the society. So what's the cause?
I beg to differ. Yes, man may be born with the intuition of knowing right from... Yes, man... Yes, man may be born with the intuition of knowing right from wrong. However, if he is not taught to practice the right things in the society, he may soon become a danger, because the same mind that thinks good also thinks evil, and that leaves man to make choices.
So when and how should these social values should be inculcated in young adults?
The family is the smallest unit of the society. These societal norms and values should be practiced, condemned, and heavily discussed if found missing in the family. Basic institutions of learning should make it a point to encourage positive behavioral patterns in their wards.
To be honest, there are a lot of parents that have tried their best to make sure their children conform to good, but the reverse is the case. At a teenage stage, all forms of hard drugs exist. Illicit sex drives are on the rampage. Drunkenness and drive to be cash loaded, whichever way, is on the street. Pushing back and keeping sane from this pressure is kind of tough. I would like to use myself as an example. My mom is a teacher and my dad is a stay-at-home guy. I do not know the reason to today, as he is able-bodied. I remember my sister confronting me about him during dinner one evening on why he chose to live this way. He was quick to say that was a decision between him and my mom, and the reason is between them. That meant all the bills are being paid by my mom, from groceries to school fees and health insurance. As I grew up, I hated the way my mom treated my dad. He was compelled to do the laundry, the cooking, house chores, and more. I have two sisters. That makes me the only boy. The hero and the man figure I had to structure and guide me right looked like a wimp to me. As such, I just wanted to be my own man. I saw all women as a threat to my masculinity. I even contemplated raping and assaulting any female gender that crossed my path in a romantic relationship. Weak as my dad. But someone saved me from my self-destruct. Guess who it was? The school janitor, a 45-year-old lady who cleans the school toilets and classrooms. I wore a frown when coming to class and I left the same way. I wore the same frown when talking to my male friends, when bullying the girls in my class, even when answering questions during class sessions. As such, the girls in my class feared me and avoided me a great deal. That made me feel like a hero, and I started to feel an empty fulfillment at the contrast of my dad. As time went on, I needed more substance to feel cool about myself, so I was introduced to hard drugs. On a particular day during lunch break, I had taken cocaine to the toilet to sniff. But unknowingly, it fell from my pocket. In my school, where there are about 10 toilets with fiber doors on each row, I looked around for it, but never found it. The school janitor, Miss Kwesi, was in the know of where the drugs had fallen, but pretended not to know. What broke me down when she confronted me with what she said. She said she found the drug the same day I was looking for it, and she knew I was the one sniffing. She would have reported me to the school authority, which would have meant the end of my academics in Green High School, as the school policies expulsion for students who do drugs. But she believed if she spoke to me, I would turn a new leaf. As such, I was set and shared my interest at heart, and I decided to ask her a question. Is sausage genetic? Are there possibilities for me to do better than my dad? The irony of my question was not that I haven't seen in movies or films Papa's becoming rich, but I just couldn't believe the possibility of me not ending up like my dad. I so much feared it and I dreaded it. But she told me, success is how many people you are able to put smiles on their face each day. That was like turning to my everyday frowning face. The next thing she told me was, you are unique. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. There are never two of your type. As such, I felt relieved as I took her advice. The last thing she told me was, money is an illusion. It only exists in the mind of the poor. Money is a distraction and a deception in the world. Before modernity, people practiced trade by barter, and they lived longer than this 21st century carbon monoxide polluted and technology crazed generation. Money evolved over time. It's a game of numbers. Our dignity as a human person should not be derived from having or not having it. After this, I felt relieved as I took her advice, and I realized I do not have to bully or do drugs to prove anything to anyone. So in my opinion, to all youth out there, it is not entirely your life. You owe it to the people that love you. The society and your family are a part of you. Your actions and actions have a role to play in the stimulus of another being in the larger society.
Wow. So you were on your way to becoming a criminal. It's nice to be talking to the new you. I have a question for you. Parental control is a global phenomenon, and educational institutions provide moral character training and upbringing. How did this not affect your thought line before meeting the janitor?
Have you heard of the phrase, it's not what you say, but how you say it? Remember I said my actions were a fallout of my dad's incapabilities to provide for his family. So whatever advice he gave to me didn't mean anything to me.
But that's kind of weird, because history records parents who were paupers ended up raising multimillionaires and successful people as children.
I didn't see that light, and I couldn't believe that could happen to me personally. But when the janitor spoke to me, something broke inside of me. Walls of anger, fear, and insecurity gave way to the relief that I am somebody. I think her tone, the compassion, and the fact that she didn't report me to the school authorities, but chose to dialogue with me, defined my turning point.
I think I can identify with that. I was just 7 years old when I began my stealing spree. And on a particular night, I decided to steal meat from the pot. And at that time, my dad was a policeman, and we lived in the barracks, so the life was not easy at all. And coincidentally, as in the act of stealing the meat, my dad was there and he caught me red-handed. I expected him to yell, to shout, maybe even point his gun at me and call me a thief. But he did none of that. He looked me in the eye, and in his eye I read, "This act is beneath you." And since that day, I stopped stealing.
I suppose you could say he made you feel more valuable than a midnight household thief.
I should think so. Maria, I would like to revert back to your assertion that what prevents Michael from killing somebody he dislikes is the fear of going to prison. As intelligent beings, should the fear of going to prison affect our daily lives? Is it the solution to social vices? I think it's far from that. Statistics have shown that in every 1,000 people, there are 3 to 5 policemen. In a society where 10,000 people are committing crimes and breaking the law, the policemen would feel overwhelmed, wouldn't they?
Like I said, the key to a safer society is rearing empathy.
Tolerance too.
I would like you to explain the concept of tolerance further.
By that I mean leave and let's leave.
Okay. As a journalist, I do a lot of research. Oftentimes, I read about the gross insecurities in Africa, so I decided to take Nigeria as my case study. I began to read on welfare structures put in place to cater for the welfare of people and youth and also families who do not have a viable source of income. But to my greatest surprise, I realized that there was none binding this set of people, either by the federal government or by the state government, and I wondered why.
Yes, people who have no source of income usually end up depending on their family and end up feeding from hand to mouth.
But that is not sustainable.
Exactly my point.
Yes, family members get tired of their constant pleas for money and stop sending them money. And because they cannot find a suitable source of income, they end up being miscreants on the streets, defrauding and harming innocent people.
Busala, entrepreneurs who evade tax, or the corrupt politicians, or even the fraudulent civil servants are guilty of committing menace in the Nigerian state. I personally believe that in the boardroom of equity, they do not deserve to be called innocent.
So Jane, what's your recommendation?
I recommend that the Nigerian state should put in structures in order to cater for the welfare of these so-called miscreants if they want its high labor force and public to sleep with their eyes closed. Basically, the secret of the Western world, using Germany as a case study, is that their tax system is institutionalized and adhered to by all and sundry. And there are heavy penalties for people who take part in tax evasion. These penalties make every right-thinking business owner comply.
The tax system in Nigeria is actually institutionalized, but due to non-compliance with lack of accountability coupled with corruption, it makes both the watchdog and the thief the same.
I see living in a cycle here, and I hope it doesn't lead to an abyss.
We'll be going on a short break now, and when we return, we'll discuss chastity. Chastity before marriage, a myth of the past or a societal need. Do stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen! Ladies and gentlemen! Ladies and gentlemen! Ladies and gentlemen! Turn it up! Okay. Hey, it's Iggy Azalea. I'm Tolo. We're Khalifa, man. Nicki Minaj.
Welcome back. If you're just tuned in, you're tuned into FM's Weekend Boost, where we discuss current social and economic issues around the world. I'm your host, Busola Adele, and here with me are...
Maria.
Jane.
Michael.
Augustus.
Previously, we've discussed the importance of social values and norms as solutions to social vices in the 21st century. And now we'll be discussing chastity before marriage, a myth of the past or a societal need. Do stay with us. In the olden days, girls upholded this value of celibacy. Dances, feasts were held for girls who upholded the value of celibacy. If you were not a virgin, you were ostracized and shamed and could not even be part of the maiden group. It could even prevent you from having a promising suitor. But with the advent of modernity, and coupled with the UN has denounced virginity testing, feminism and gender inequality are being promoted. The UN said that virginity testing was affecting the psychological, social, and physical well-being of women, as was seen as dehumanizing and humiliating. Michael, you are from the USA, where at 17 years old, most girls have already lost their virginity. Most at an early age, they've made use of contraceptives and even have gone through abortions. High rates of divorce, single parenting, escorts are on the rise. It leads to the upbringing of children with psychosis and psychological disorders who depend on hard drugs and illicit acts to sustain themselves.
I'm not a female, Busola. And I don't think you're being fair to me by letting me start this conversation.
Guys too lose their virginity though.
It's only that the girls are the ones that get backlashes for it, and I sometimes wonder why.
Busola, are you trying to say that the United Nations are wrong by protecting the rights of girls and women to do whatever they please with their bodies? Why should women remain celibate before marriage and the men folk is de-emphasized? To me, that's fostering gender inequality.
Michael, take a look at it from this perspective. If you had a bag of diamond jewelries, would you rather keep it to yourself or give it to your friends, knowing that they may covet it and give you a story of how it's got lost? There's a simple rule. What you value, you preserve. More so, the girls are the ones who bear the brunt in the society anyway. I don't think virginity testing is the way to go. It is absolutely unnecessary and it is barbaric. Virtues and values are passed by parents through role modeling and actions. I think reweighing the pros and cons of celibacy in the society should be done.
Look, once upon a time, processes mattered, but now, results, whichever way may come, is the order of the day. Maria, if I'm sexually attracted to you, I go for you. Be it male or female, we do it like animals do. Dogs mate in public, cows and horses too. No hiring, no restrictions, no procedures. After all, aren't we higher animals?
Are you for real? I'm not an animal, please. I have respect for myself and I'm rational.
Michael, I think the long-term effects of this animalistic behavior should be considered. For instance, unwanted pregnancy.
Look, Jane, we're not in the Stone Age. Girls don't get pregnant even by choice. And you're a German. You know that sex workers are highly recognized by the government. They pay tax. And have you ever heard a sex worker lamenting that she got pregnant? If a girl gets pregnant, they do it so to trap their boyfriend or sex partners due to the abundance of birth control pills in this world.
But what exactly is ethically and morally justifiable about continually encouraging a narrow mind to see herself as a latrine where all come to we for a fee? Then you tax her for selling her esteem and dignity.
Basically, the government of Germany legalized prostitution in order to curb the high rate of rape and adultery in the society. In time past, we have heard of brothels called Frauenhäuser, spread across the nation, but with the outbreak of syphilis, the government restricted these services and shut down these brothels in certain areas as it was described. It also made sure that women who engage in prostitution go for medical checkups routinely. Non-compliance could lead to jail terms, you know.
Excuse me. That's like using Peter to rob Paul. Germany is a very rich country. I think the 2001 constitution that legalizes prostitution should be re-examined. If going for medical checkups and restriction prostitution to certain areas is encouraged, why not encourage skill management and mind training? I mean, truth be told, most girls only engage in prostitution due to psychological disorders and lack of income.
Busola, are you trying to say that the federal government should make it compulsory for all sex workers to enroll in skill acquisition classes and mind management courses at the start of their jobs?
Exactly my point.
This strategy will empty the hotels because with that, there are a full realizations of their potentials and self-worth to be affirmed. And to me, that's spoiling business for some of us and those who patronize them.
What's the situation of prostitution in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, engaging in prostitution could lead to a 2-year jail term or fine, but most girls from impoverished families still engage in prostitution. Though, unlike the western part of the world, in Nigeria it is not encouraged. It brings about enormous stigma and it could lead to you being ostracized in the society,
Busala, the olden days you mentioned, information could be managed. But in this present age of globalization, where information is at the tip of a finger and all sorts of enticements are prevalent to illicit sex, how can this generation survive?
I think a constant reminder of self and self-worth can be a deterrent here. Think of it from this perspective. Most girls who engage in prostitution are usually victims of abuse through toxic relationships or even rape, and cannot be blamed for the misdeeds of a delusional mind.
Well, in any case, I make bold to say that people with such stories as Augustus should please try to speak out to the public, get psychological help where needed, and even go further to becoming social workers and social change entrepreneurs.
That's very true. And with that, we wrap up our discussion. Hope you learned a few things of two. If you have any observation or comments, go send an email to weekendboost@fm.org. I hope you had a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yo, man, hold on, man. Y'all gotta turn them radios up. Y'all gotta turn them up. Turn them radios up.
This is what's in the house.
Well, from Christian College.
Thank you.
Wow. 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 Wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Please put your hands together for this. Are you educated? Do you love what they do? Please put your hands one more time. When I went to the back to talk with my colleague, the mother of the German lady proudly said, "That is my daughter, the German." Yes, you guys did well. I'm proud of you. And so you can imagine your parents watching you do this. And I pray that you set such examples in the society. In Jesus' name. That's lovely. Please put your hands again one more time for them. Now you have an idea of what we have in this beautiful book, Virgins. There's a whole lot of it. These students could not even touch 1/4 of it. That's just chapter 4 that they emphasized on of that book. So, madam, that was she. Okay, she went out for interview. I would have a copy of the book. It's going to be a lovely one. I would have that and keep it in my archive and even extend it to my children to read. Please put your hands again one more time. Don't worry, some of you here don't get intimidated. Some of you, they see the way that they speak English, some of vices and racialize mean, but sure like. Don't get intimidated. Speak your own way you feel speak. Speak your own that you can speak. Somebody went for a contest and saw some ladies doing on the walkway. They are doing their catwalk. The lady was a bit ploppy. She was doing her. She came to wanted to do her cat. I said, no, don't do catwalk. Do elephant walk. Just do your own. Don't copy someone. Because a lot of you here have talents that they don't have. There's so many talent that God gave out. They have a part of it. You have a part of it. Now, the idea for this program is to build your mind towards knowing that thing that you are very good at. You focus on it and you become better. Don't think because Busola is a doctor and she's doing so well, you now abandon that gift that you have because you want to become a doctor. You will never be a good doctor. You will never. You can only know how. See, what makes you exceptional is the natural gift of God that you put in that thing that you are doing. Do you hear me? So focus on your gift. Education. Educate yourself and focus on that thing that God gave to you. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is our big Oga. He is the one that prayed for us when we started this program. Please put your hands together as he comes to the microphone. Pastor Kule Oluwadari. Please, Miss Precious, come to the high table. Where are you, please? Miss Precious, please come. Please put your hands together for Miss Precious. Miss Precious. Clap for her until she comes to sit down. Miss Precious, don't be shy. You are beautiful. If I'm your husband, I will laminate you and keep so that you won't get old. Please clap for her. She comes to sit down. Thank you, Pastor.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to stand on all existing protocol at this awesome program. Thank you for the intro. Let me quickly start by showing appreciation to the organizer of this event, Mrs. Anat Roberts. Let's put our hands together for her. I'm really honored to be at this event and book launch. I would like to, before I give you my lecture, I'd like to share a few things with you about this very environment where we are, which I'm still going to ask questions from about 4 students that are here, and I'll be gifting them a book before the end of the lecture. I have two connections to this environment. Where we are is called Festac Town, and this town was inaugurated in the year 1977 in February. That very year, I was born into this world. Secondly, my first corporate organization job was gotten in this very environment on 21 Road. That, I wouldn't want to say it here, that food restaurant that has their head office on 21 Road, Market Plaza. Some of us know the name started with T. That is where I got my first corporate job as an account officer in the head office. So it's a wonderful experience in Festac. Today I'm privileged to give this lecture at such challenging time in the life of every Nigerian, our teenagers, our children and youth. I'd like to speak on the topic, the culture of delayed gratification. The culture of delayed gratification in the place of norms and values amongst Nigerian youth. I repeat, the culture of delayed gratification in the place of norms and values amongst Nigerian youth. I like to define some terms from the topic such that we'll be able to understand and flow along with what I'm about to share with you, which some of them have been shared by Boki Bash. God bless you, ma. Really appreciate. Because not everyone that started well, but she didn't start well, but now she's a first class. Okay, what's the culture? Culture is a way of life, a simple, very simple way of life. What's the meaning of delay? Delay to make something late or slow. Late or slow. And what is gratification? Gratification is pleasure, especially when gained from the satisfaction of a desire. Action of an individual. Basic belief that guides the action of an individual. So, the belief of people about you, most especially in the environment where we are, is morality. But because of the topic, I want to coin out these two words, give us definition of delayed gratification. I want you, if there's, and from this definition, if you cannot get it very well, get this one right. Delayed gratification is the act of resisting an impulse to take an immediately available reward. Students, we are in lecture. We are in lecture. Well, I believe you are used to this. When your teachers, your English teacher, your maths teacher, your basic science teachers, and the rest of them is giving you his notes. Okay, very quickly. Delayed gratification is the act of resisting an impulse to take an immediately available reward in the hope of obtaining a more valued reward in the future. Who got it? The definition. Wow. Okay. Let me move forward quickly. On this topic, I'll be speaking on 5 areas. 5 areas about the place of norms and values among Nigerian youth. 5 areas. The first one, quickly, is moral education. Moral education. like our young teenagers, students, define family as the first, the smallest unit of the society. Family values, communication standards, and legacy is what I want us to look at in this moral education. I'll tell you that the first agent of moral education and character molding or training is the family. God's so good, we have parents here, we have leaders, we have teachers here, and I'm glad that our children are here. Thank God for what the MC said, that the mother of the German girl said, "That's my daughter." So, the first agent of moral education and character molding is the family. The family could be rich, could be poor, could be great, could be small, or could be good or bad, irrespective of the family. Once they have children growing up, the family is responsible for their moral education. An example of these morals are respect for people. Example of these morals are respect for people. Legacy of integrity and honesty. And good communication. Example of this moral, I just take 3 from them. Respect for people, legacy of integrity, and honesty. And we thought, good communication. But however, it is sad that many families today are losing or have lost these moral values and standards which in the past stood as gatekeepers to norms and values of our society. I'm a pastor and I'll quote a scripture. The word of God says in Proverbs 22 verse 6, it said, train up your child in a way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not. God bless you. Clap for yourself. I want us to look at just one of this moral education. And our first speaker has said something about it. It's about examination malpractice. Examination malpractice. Amongst adolescent youths of this generation, there is a saying that you cannot give what you don't. And she has put it up to you that if you don't read, you cannot pass. It's not magic. It's not magic. Thank you, sir. So it's very important. Part of the morals is for you to read to become somebody. Read and become somebody. I'll go on the next. Like they said, that school is a scam. Have you heard that before? Yes. Have you heard that before? Yes. Is it true that school is a scam? No. Do you believe that? No. So you can see the area of moral education and communication here. School is not a scam. If school is if it's a scam, I won't be here. She won't be here. So you should know that school is an institution or a camp where you are being developed to become somebody in life. Number 2 is lifestyles. Lifestyles, and I'll be looking at communication, drug abuse, and cultism. Drug abuse and cultism is very rampant in our society in this present time. As religious people, as Christians, as Muslims, and others, we have built our doctrines of peace and love, and these have been devoid of social menace. Drug abuse is a problem in our society in this very time that we are in, and these are challenges to children, to youth of our time. It is not news anymore that are cultism in secondary school in this present day. Even in primary school, we've been told. These are immoral values that have been brought into the education system. Dr. Dokun Adedeji, a former DG of Christ Against Drug and Christ Against Drug Abuse and Management, once said on a radio station, and I quote, that no university is free from drug abuse. All the university in Nigeria, none of them is free of drug abuse. So you should know that you are aspiring to go into the university where there are good students and there are the other good students. So which one do you want to be? So it's important that you uphold good lifestyle. Not only reading, have moral, have character, honesty, decency, all of these. They are very important. So I'm telling you this morning that delayed gratification, like some said, that school is a scam. They go in hurry to make money from several things. So I'm telling you this afternoon that your input, your efforts to study day and night will be rewarded. Yesterday, we had a program with about 120 teenagers, and one of the students that was awarded, given award, was for academic excellence. In the just concluded JAMB, it's called 304. Isn't that excellent? Would you like to have such mark? Short score? So you work hard. So lifestyle. Ensure that you build the right kind of lifestyle. Number 3, because my time is almost up, is fashion. About these norms and values. Fashion. If you look at the culture, acceptability and decency of fashion, if we have to look at norms and values in the society, I would say, even as a pastor, even if I'm not a pastor, you must be a very disciplined child, a disciplined person, not to commit the sin of lust when you walk on the streets of Lagos. Yes or no? By the mode of dressing of both boys, girls, men, and women. And this affects our children a lot. So it's very important that your norms and value that has been practiced in the olden days, where a child cannot go out naked, should still be maintained. And I'm putting this up to our parents, who are gatekeepers to our children. If parents are putting on decent clothes, decent fashion and dressing, definitely is expected that our children should follow suit. But the case is not the same. As many parents flaunt their bodies, they said, I want to be in touch. Is what is in vogue. Is what is trending. Is what is trending. You expose your body. What will your daughter do? What will your son do? As they say, what you sow, you will. And do you know what you sow? You don't reap exact quantity of what you sow. You reap more. So if you are dressing shabbily, seductively, what will happen to your daughter? So fashion, the norms of fashion must be decency. Cover your body. And this should be maintained in schools, at home, in church, in mosque, and everywhere. Number 4, I'll be very quick, is money and materialism. Money and materialism. And I'll tell you that the rate at which youths and teenagers, including students, are hungry for money is quite alarming. Is very quite alarming. The Bible says that money answereth all things. Money answereth all things. Is it true? But that's what the Bible says. Okay. But the Bible also says, that is in Ecclesiastes 10:19b. But the Bible also says in 1 Timothy 6:10 that the love of money is the root of all evil. So I'm putting up to you, teenagers, that part of the norms that we must maintain is satisfaction. that you must maintain. So it's very important. I want to put it up to you again that the norms in the society, the music that we listen, the films that we watch have an impact in our lifestyle. And is affecting the norms and values of children and teenagers, students, as regards what values they maintain. Let me give you one song that you all know. Somebody say, if you no get money, hide your face. Wonderful. Now, listen to that phrase. If you no get money, hide your face. For example, I'm your principal, and your parents are very, very rich. It's time for WAEC, and the principals tell you, if you don't get money, hide your face. No WAEC for you. Will that be correct? So you can see that's a wrong value. Because somebody sang, and I know very many of you sing that song, but you don't know the meaning. The meaning of that song, they are bullying your personality. Your personality is being bullied. That even if you come from a poor family, you are nobody. I tell you, you are somebody. Because I passed through, like he said, I passed through that stage. I grew up in Ajegule. Whoa. And without my parents, I just like to round up. Because I'm a product of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. I'm a product. I grew up in Ajegule, and without parents, my parents had relocated to my hometown, which is not very far from here. And I was all alone with my brothers. I had to grind snuff. I had to do some artwork. I had to sell on the road because I want to be somebody. So your background must not put you on the ground. You have to fight, study, read, and become somebody. Finally, I'd like to talk about sexuality, which is related to the book that is being said today. Virginity, sexuality. You agree with me that the youth of our time in Nigeria and the world at large has redefined words like relationship, sexuality, through various kinds of practices such as baby mama. Have you heard that word before, baby mama? Mummies and daddy. Did we hear anything like that in the past? During our time. There was no baby mama. It's Mama Bolanle, Mama Shegun, Mama Nkechi, and the rest of them. Who has an husband? Not a baby mama that you just give conceive a child for somebody because of monetary gratification. Because he's a star. You want to have baby for him and make money for yourself. It's not right. So the walls of sexual honor, of virginity built with chastity, tabulization of some act have been broken down by the society, by the norms that's been practiced. Who will rebuild these walls? You and me. And God will give you grace in the mighty name of Jesus. Now I'd like to close with this. On the value of virginity. Some of us are always from Osun State here. Okay, maybe our parents. There's a festival in Osun State that's being held. I don't know if it's every year or once in a while. It's called Osun Festival. I'm a pastor, but I'm speaking about it. It's called Osun Festival. Of all the activities that happen in that festival, there is something that is speaking to you how the world values virginity. There is a girl, a teenager that must be chosen in that society that is called Aruba. Aruba must be a virgin. Aruba must be a virgin. They can't choose any teenager that is not a virgin. So you can see if the gods can choose a virgin to worship him, how much the God that made you. So he's telling you that your virginity is a glory to God. It's not glory to men. Many have been fooled and have been told, there are myths about virginity, that virginity is not in vogue. It's still in vogue in heaven. It's still in vogue in nature. And I like to tell you at this point in time that God was intentional. And all of these are norms that you must maintain. Not virginity is not for only girls alone. Boys, listen. I never defied myself. And I'm closing with this story. I grew up in Ajegule, and my room where I live, this is my window, and just about a step here is the back door of a brothel. Who knows what's called a brothel? It's a place where prostitutes do their commercial service. I can hear every day and night how a guy is negotiating with a prostitute. That is just one. About 20 meters from me, there's another hotel, 4-story building, still a brothel. So they surrounded me. But God helped me. You can imagine. In fact, let me tell you that the manager of the hotel beside me is my friend. I could ask for sex anytime I needed it. Anytime, for free. But I went out of Ajegule a virgin. As a teenager. So, I am speaking to you like you said, you can. And that's why I have the privilege to speak to you, because I passed through it. And you too can. If God that made you can put a filament at the gates, how many of you, most rich man, they have gates? So, I like to just round up here to let us know that delayed gratification, what you are going to get at the end of your pain, at the end of your suffering, at the end of your challenges, is more important than what you want to get now. Examination malpractice is what you want to get now, but it can affect you in the future. It can affect you in the future. I want to also. Can I? No. I want to appreciate the MC for the privilege that is given unto me. God bless you.
Thank you. Please clap for him. There's something he said that made me laugh. He said, I came out of Ajegule as a virgin. And I was listening. He said, as I am speaking to you now, I thought he wanted to say, as I am speaking to you now, I am still a virgin. I forgot shout. I would have shouted though. I wanted to help him complete it, but it's okay. Please put your hands together for Pastor. Lovely, lovely. The man wants to take a lot of, we just don't have time. We have a lot of it. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, One House. Thank you. Now, the time, the reason we are here, the time is now. Somebody say virgins. Somebody say virgins. If you listen to those students from Christ Hill, you know that that book has a lot inside. Now, someone is going to come to do the review of the book. It's called the book review. Please listen attentively and understand. Please put your hands together for Barrister Kemi Oyetayo as she comes for the book. Continue to clap. Continue to clap.
Thank you so much, MC. All protocols duly acknowledged. Gen Zs, let me hear you say, hey, hey. Aha. You can see I'm a Gen Z mom. Am I not?
Am I not? So I understand exactly what your thought line is like. Can you appreciate God in my life? Now, before I go on, I want us to appreciate the Almighty God for giving us this opportunity. We are privileged to be here at this time, to have this book to guide us. I also want us to give a standing ovation to the author of this wonderful book. Can we please be on our feet as we appreciate Mrs. Anat Awosuru? Let's appreciate her. Thank you very much. Please, may we sit down. May we sit down. The reason for the appreciation is because this is a book for the moment. There could not have been a better time for us to have this sort of book. Why? Because we need to be appropriately guided. And that's what the book seeks to do. Now, it is often said that you want to hide anything from an average Nigerian, put it down in a book. Is that true? Yes. Is it true? Yes. Gen Z, do we agree that when we want to conceal things from you, let's just write it in a book? Is it true? No. How often do we read? What kind of books do we read? I can't hear you. Sorry. Your textbooks, prose, poems. Appreciate yourself. We're doing well. Now, in reviewing this book, we're going to, segregate the book into 3 different parts. We're going to lump chapters 1 to 5 together, and then we'll look at chapter 6, and then we'll lump chapters 7 to 10 together. The reason is quite deliberate, because I want us to read the book. If I stand here and I give you the lowdown of the book, then there's no point reading the book. As a matter of fact, there's no point having a copy of the book. But I tell you something. This is one book that is worth having. Which was why I asked us to give a standing ovation to the author of the book, because she did justice in that book. She did justice in the sense that everything we need to guide us in life as young persons, as we grow into adulthood, is contained in the book. Now, this book seeks to address the several illegalities, abnormalities, value degradation that we see around us every day. It's a book that affects you and I. Why? How does it affect me as a person? It affects me because I have children, your age, some older than you. As a matter of fact, all my children are older than you. Yes. Yes. How old? Okay, the youngest is 20. So all my children are older than you. However, irrespective of their ages, they need this book just as you need the book. So I need you to pay attention. I'm going to be very brief here, but the little I have to say, let it sink let it go through your thought process, and let it remain in your heart and in your mind. Now, the book is an attempt to imbibe in us, as growing children, growing into adulthood, the need to maintain our dignity, the need to maintain self-discipline, the need to be pure. You look around you today, it's like all of these virtues are thrown out through the windows. I know you are very active on social media, too many things out there. to corrupt our minds. This book seeks to tell us that irrespective of what goes on around us, peer pressure, friends trying to influence us. In fact, we have parents who also try to influence us negatively. This book tells us that we stand our ground and we should say no to any form of illegality. Turn to somebody and say no to any form of illegality. Abnormality is just abnormal. This is the purview of chapters 1 to 5. You know, it projects our main character that goes by the name Busola, an undergraduate at the University of Lagos. We all know what goes on at the University of Lagos. An undergraduate who found herself in a hall called Moremi Hall. Moremi Hall is very notorious. In fact, some people call it La Hotel Morem. You understand it? You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. In other words, that all is another hotel. That's what goes on around her. But here we have a young lady who, in spite of events around her, decides to maintain her stance. She never forgot what her mother told her. Just as I'm charging you this afternoon, never to forget whatever your thoughts in the home. Your primary place of learning is the home. As she was leaving home, her mother gave her a scroll. This lady, this young lady, allowed her thoughts, her actions, everything she did while in the university to be guided by what her mother told her. Now, she said something that I would like to read to us in a chapter of the book. Excuse me, please. All right, let me summarize it. She said she was going to be guided by her mother's injunctions as she was leaving the house. And this she did all through her stay as an undergraduate. As a matter of fact, when this lady proceeded out of the shores of Nigeria to Germany for her 3-month internship, she came across a man that was interested in her, but she said no to premarital sex. She said to herself and to the man, I'm going to stay chaste until I am married. This book from chapters 1 to 5 seeks to admonish us as young people to stay out of premarital sex. That is number 1. Number 2, the book seeks to tell us that we should be responsible for our actions. Why? Because everything we do have consequences. When we do good, when we do right, there are consequences. When we do bad, there are consequences. Busola, as our main character in the book The Virgins, the Old and New Norma, decided that she was going to be pure. She was going to be a young woman of integrity. Never mind, as we have in chapter 6 of that book, peer pressure comes. People will mock you. They do it all the time. Some of them tell you, Kojasi. Is it not true? Eleyo Jasi. Eleyo Munomba Koshaka. Am I correct? Some people call you a mommy or my daddy. Don't care about those names. Don't care about peer pressures. Don't care about what your best friend is telling you. We know what is good. We know what is right. Let's stick to it. Let's turn our faces away from bully. When we look at the lifestyle, when we read that book, we'll find out that Busola was seriously bullied. They were calling her this virgin. Have you heard that before? They were mocking her because nobody believed her. Just as we're seated here, you tell somebody I'm a virgin, they look at you like you're out of the world, like you're crazy. That's what happens around us. But does that make it right? it doesn't make it right. Unfortunately, we are in a society where abnormality seems to be the order of the day. I have found myself in situations where you have to have a rethink and ask yourself questions. Am I actually doing what is right? Are my brains functioning properly? I'm here to tell you. And this is what the book seeks to tell you, that really your brains are working very effectively. Your brains are all right. You are normal. Now, if you look at chapter 7 to 10, the same lady that was bullied by roommates, by friends, by everyone around her, after a period of time, they realized that, oh my God, Busola was actually a queen. And that narrative changed. They started calling her the vindicated queen. So I want to assure you this afternoon that if you say no to abnormality, if you say no to illegality, if you say no to any form of evil, it's only a question of time. Men will come to appreciate you. Just as her husband appreciated her after the marriage, he called her my queen all through. He appreciated her, he honored her, the entire family, everyone around her, her friends, who mocked her, just as some people are mocking you today. Why? Because you choose to remain pure and chaste, will come to say, Busola, whatever your name is a queen. Now, I'm going to leave us with this one thing. It says, if I lose my money, I have lost nothing. If I lose my health, I have lost nothing. But if I lose my dignity, I have lost everything. Please say to the person sitting next to you, say, if you lose your dignity, you have lost everything. I want you to say it resoundingly. Say, if you lose your dignity, you have lost everything. On this note, I close my review. Thank you very much.
Please clap one more time. All right. Thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you, thank you. You look younger than we expected, saying that your last born at 20 years. Wow. Please clap for her. She has taken care of herself so much. When you have money, things are easy. I not be so. Somebody say money is good. All right, we are going straight into the book launch. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You are not. You can launch with your word of prayer and say, this book will go places. That's what you can give for now. Now, I'm going to call on our big uncle in the house. I didn't have the time to really introduce him very well because that time he was just coming in. But believe me, ladies and gentlemen, he is a philanthropist. I know he has contributed immensely to the upward mobility of the states and now the country at large. Please put your hands together as he comes to launch the book. Mr. Bolaji Tunji, Special Advisor to the Ministry of Power. Somebody say power. Say power. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon once more. I'm sure you are all eager to see how the book looks like. Yes. Like the MC said, it's a book that is very good, well written, and that you all need. Even if you can't buy, ensure your parents buy for you, because it's a good book that you must all have. I've read it, and I've seen what is there. You have a lot to gain from it. I've been told to do a launching of this book. Of course I will do, but I'm not going to announce any price. So I'm going to take 2 copies of the book, but I'm not going to announce the cost because I'm a civil servant now. Thank you very much.
Put your hands together. Civil servants will not announce. Then get Oga for office. All right, launching next. The book, yes, he has launched. People will get weights, they know they talk too much. Launching next. He said he will have 2 copies of the book. Please, so we can serve him 2 copies now. Wow, the book is fine, right? Please, pictures. Paparazzi. Wow, wow. Virgins. Even the cover page is so lovely. Launching next is our one and only Dr. Oni. Please put your hands together, Dr. Oni.
Thank you very much. Our powerful MC. No dull moments. So before I launch the book, I'm just going to tell you a short story. The author and I and Barrister Kemi and Mrs. Shoduke were classmates in secondary school. So we finished from Wesley Girls Secondary School, Yaba, and we call ourselves WOGA 92. So on behalf of WOGA, Wesley Old Girls Association. So on behalf of WOGA 92, I'm launching these with 20,000 naira. On behalf of myself, my family, my students, powerful Lagos State University students, world-class students, I'm launching 5 copies on my own with 50,000 naira. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for her. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you, DJ. DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the chairman of Amuwa Odofin, Barrister Valentine Brymon. Hold on. One house. This is how we are going to greet chairman. Are you ready? You can't be doing that sitting down. Oh yeah, please be on your feet. You now clap your hands like, hey, listen. You clap your hands like this. Ba, 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 ba. Chamo. Are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ba, 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 ba. Again. One more time. Thank you, thank you. Engineer Valentine, God bless you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. One house, one house, one house. Engineer Valentine, I've heard a lot about you. Campus is my very good friend. We play tennis together. Campus, yes. Yes. He's my very good friend. In fact, we were together 2 days ago. We played tennis. He plays lawn tennis. We talk a lot about the development that you guys are putting together and doing. In fact, there's something he told me. If I tell you now, you go shock. But it's a good one, Engineer Valentine. You are doing a lot of good work. And I can see that. Hold on. Your dispensation has brought about a lot of development. Yes, it's not because you're here. I've heard a lot about it in this Amuwa Odofi. And I know if you are privileged, by the grace of God, you'll be privileged, you will do more. All right, you came in at the nick of time where we are doing the launching of this very beautiful book, Virgins. I believe if Chamo was here when the students from Christ Hill were performing here, trust me, Chamo, for your bless you. But it's not too late. You can just go and meet him to sign an autograph. It's an opportunity to meet him as it is. So, Chamo, I want to give the microphone to you. All right, Chamo, I'm going to give you the mic. Our Honorable Bolaji Tunji, Special Advisor to the Federation on Power, is here. As a civil servant, he didn't mention what he launched with. I can understand coming from that angle. And also, I don't know, but our Chamo, you are here. The microphone is yours now. Launch this book, The Virgins. Is the old new normals. You needed to be here and see what these students did on that chapter 4. It's a lovely book. So, over to you, Chairman.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, particularly the member of the table. From left and right, good afternoon. I welcome you to our mode of government, also at the back too. And the students, good afternoon to you, everyone. Well, I have a little time to spend with you, but rather, I will digress my own a little. And mine to you, as a student, as a leader of this country tomorrow, that you want develop a reading culture. Hello? Hello? There is no shortcut to success. I don't encourage examination malpractices. I don't encourage it. I believe you must come to class, you must be taught by your teacher, and whatever you don't understand, you can ask your teacher or your classmates that understand it better than you to explain to you. There's no crime in that. Hello, one house. Students, one house. When I'm talking, you are talking. You can't get anything. I am not here for fun. You are here for a purpose. I'm only advising you for your future. There is no shortcut to success. You must take academic very, very serious. In our own time, to enter admission to university, they will tell you 2 sitting. Abi? Now it's 1 sitting. Hello? So that means academic work is now what? More competitive. And you must go along with your time. This is your time. You must go along with your time. If you allow yourself to be left behind, it's unfortunate. There's no magic to success. It's seriousness. Constant practice. Constant reading. Lesser play. All this telly you are watching should be minimal. This is your social media thing. You are not there yet. For social media, you are not what? There yet. Be focused with your studies first. Determine what you want to be yourself. You can easily say, I want to become a doctor. It is very simple to say it. Easy. Hello? You can easily say, I want to become a lawyer, a barrister. Very simple to say. I want to become an engineer. Wonderful. But to acquire it takes time. Take what? Time, discipline, focusedness, and principle. Even the successful one, there's no job. Hello? So, now talk of being lazy. Even the successful one, there's no what? No job available. You have to create job, create something for yourself to sustain. That's what I'm telling them from where I'm coming from now, from training from them there. So there is no shortcut to success. It is not the fault of your parents. Hello? It is never the fault of your parents. That is the society that we found ourselves. Listen and listen good. Why I said it is not the failure of your parents to get job when you leave university is because the people in administration today want to acquire a mass wealth for themselves alone at the detriment of the general public. We have had our contract of 10 billion. You don't want to do what they call it, variation. Okay, that time maybe cement was 10 naira. Abi, fuel don't increase, don't become 12 naira. You now increase a project of 10 billion to 120 billion. Where is it done anywhere? So don't blame the president. Don't blame the governor. Blame the people in the system. Because the president cannot be minister for works. The governor cannot be commissioner for environment. He will appoint people. The people in authority care less for the general public. Care only for their own immediate family. That is where the problem started from. People want to amass wealth that the generation to come cannot even spend. Finish. So in the process, we have caged ourselves or enslaved ourselves. So you are the one that we are looking after to change this country. And if you now want to become a shortcut to success, that means you are going to join them when you grow up to amass wealth for yourself alone at the detriment of Lagosian, of Nigerian. But when you read, you will learn a lot of things through academics. You will be exposed. You will be what? You will be exposed. You will be enlightened. And also, you will be determined to change your society for good. So any program of this nature that you are being called upon, there's something that you must go home with. You don't just come, you play, you talk with your friends, and you go. When the parent asks you where you went to today, what did you get from there, you'll be looking. You must be very, very determined to become what you intend to become. Your parents cannot choose your career for you. Hello? You will choose your career yourself. Because when you get to university, if you are good in engineering, and they say go and do medical doctor, and you cannot cope, your parents will not come and study for you. It is your business. So, like I said, I have a little time to spend with you, but mine is a word of encouragement to you. You are the future leaders of this country. We expect you to be of good conduct, to be well behaved, well mannered, because we look up to you to change our teeming society for good. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your speech. But we still expect you to... Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Hey, yes, when the chairman says that, no, that is that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of Mrs. Robert Awosuru, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, students, put a hand of applause for the chairman. All right, next to launch the book, before we finally hand it over to our host for today, is no other person but Barrister Kemi. Barrister Kemi, please. Careful. Please, paparazzi, where are you, please? Pictures.
Thank you so much. I would like to launch this book with a sum of 100,000 naira.
Thank you very much, Barrister Kemi. Barrister Kemi has just launched the book with a sum of 100,000 naira. Please put your hands together again for her. Other pictures. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. Paparazzi at this time. All right, thank you. Thank you, DJ. All right. All right, at this time, we are coming to the end of the event. A beautiful event it has been. An exciting time of learning. All right. Like I said, an exciting time of learning, and I believe that we'll go home And remember that we took something from here today. Students, one thing I would always say to you, I got it from Mrs. Buki's speech. She talked about one thing and I took home. Who can remember that? What I said? Discipline. Discipline. The chairman said nothing comes cheap. It doesn't come easy. So don't expect it to be easy. You want to read, there are some times that your teacher will just come and solve one kind of maths. Some of those teachers will solve one maths and just walk away without giving you an explanation. Tell you go and do one kind of research and things like that. Eh? Oh, she wants to lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Liliana Rio is launching with a sum of 200,000. All right, our one and only Pastor Kule. You know, say pastor, not a shout too much. He's launching with a sum of 20,000. All right, the author of the book, Mrs. Anat Roberts Awosuru, is giving each of the school one copy free. I said earlier on, they don't have representative. And you know, say na tubu mercy now will take pick people that time. And if I say one person should come now, the whole of them will jump. Okay, so I'll randomly pick. I'll randomly pick. First person to tell me who is the name of our last, what's the name of our last president? Oh yeah, come. Come. That's how I'll pick. Oh yeah, photography. This is for the school. Now let me ask again. Do you have a representative of each school? One person that represents, that is a team lead? Who is the team lead here? Oh yeah, please give the book to her. Taye. Thank you. The other school, who is your team lead? Oh yeah, come. All right, all the team lead be coming out. Hey, do it gradually. After picture, who is your team lead here? Don't worry. Go. Sit down first. Sit down first. You are the team lead. Oh yeah, come. Where are you? Who is the boy that came out that said he's a team lead? Let me call you first. I'll come to you. Next. Sorry. Go. Remember, that is for your school. You can put in your school library. One house. That's all. All right, it's finished. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, please let's welcome to the microphone the author of the book and the convener of today's event, Mrs. Anat Roberts Awosuru, as she comes for the vote of thanks. Please put your hands together.
Hello, students. Everybody say hi. Everybody say virgins. Everybody say it's normal. It's normal. I'd like to say a very big thank you to everybody that has showed up for today's program. This is actually a dream come true for me. In absentia, the chairman, local government, Amodofi, the former special advisor, communication and strategy, Oyo State, my friends, Dr. Laumi, associate professor of English, Lagos State University, Barrister Kemi, Pastor Kunle, Bukola Fashorum, and to everybody, Shodunke, I want to say a very, very big thank you to everybody that has been present in today's meeting. However, my final words to my students, my thoughts and my mind is in the book. I don't really need to repeat myself. You listen to the talk show. I just want you to know that, just like all the speakers have said, doing things rightly is normal. Living a life of honesty, tolerance, celibacy, chastity, integrity in all ramifications is normal. It is the opposite that is abnormal. So I just want you to put that inside your heart. And I'm going to close with just something. I'm going to give you an analogy. When I was abroad, I met a young boy. A young boy of... So listen, everybody listen to my story. Listen to my story. What I'm going to say now will encapsulate what I'm trying to say to you. I met this guy. He's 20 years old. You are leaving secondary school, and you are going to be given something called freedom. You see this uniform that you're wearing? It is something that will kind of regiment your life, training for something higher. By the time you pull down your uniform, it's a kind of freedom. I know a lot of you will say, especially when you finish WAEC. I finish WAEC, I'm now a big girl. Argue with your keyboard. I always hear when they say that. They're happy. You say, I'm tired of this uniform that I always wash. But now they're going to give you something called freedom. What are you going to do with the freedom you have? What are you going to do with the freedom you have? What do you want to do with the freedom? Now, I'm going to give you a scenario. This boy is 20 years old. He was raised by... just like everybody was raised, children, your parents care for you people a lot. And now he's in a hemisphere, his mother, his uncle, his auntie, nobody is there. And he's in a community that all and sundry happens. And he said, okay, but there's a distinct in his life, and everybody said, if all children were like this boy. He got to that country when he was 18. And at 20, I met him at 20. And he said, yes, now, I get bullied, I get talked to, sometimes they make me feel somehow. And they said, okay, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't womanize. How do you relax? And he said, I drink. What would I drink? I drink juice. So don't be ashamed to tell those kind of people. They said, you drink juice. Juice is good for your body. Or you drink milk. It's good. And this will not damage your liver when you go into alcoholism. And don't say, I want to expand my mind, so I'll begin to take shisha. Loud. I know all those are your words. It's a lie. When your head expands, finish, it will contract back. Do you understand? So all these things that is prevalent, don't be ashamed of who you are. There's another guy I met, a young boy too, and I told him, I said, I really like your eyes. Your eyes are pure white. Do you know what the person did? He felt it like it was like a red. I believe him, that means he's a child. When I saw him the next time, I was going to be 3 days. One particular school, I was learning French. I had younger people. His eyes became red like fire. To him, he felt that I was trying to make him feel like a small boy. Why are you destroying yourself because of what? You drink the shisha, you drink the loud, gutter water, all these things. You people are, some of you are just getting ready that, okay, when I finish, drop this uniform. No, don't go to self-destruct. And that's one of the reasons I wrote in this book. I purposely named this book Virgins, so that it will annoy some people. I want to really annoy some people. Yes. You can be a virgin as a boy. You don't have to be sleeping up and I'm donating your sperm everywhere. Yes, I purposely do it like that. It is normal. Do you understand? It is very normal. You are not abnormal. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't let anybody deceive you. You should do like there's one song that you could, man's not hot, put on the jacket. I used to tell my children, that boy, I like it. Man's not hot. You said Christmas. What's that thing that you people sing? He said, man is not hot. Why are you telling me to pull off my jacket? A guy, it's not hot. It's not feeling hot. The only thing that I'm going to pull off my jacket for a girl that I'm not married to is if I'm feeling, I can't pull off my jacket, so I'm not hot. My body is not hot. I have enough hair. Do you understand? So it's very important. And it's not all ending that is the sex itself that happens or what happens. It is the psychological trauma. It is the stress. Because it's when you start engaging with all this, that's when you start telling lies. That's where you're thinking, what I do, what am I? It gives yourself burden. You begin to give yourself unnecessary burden. If you're a young girl here, you have a boy that is saying, you're sleeping with somebody, is giving you contraceptive. He's damaging something in you. For what? Even as married women, at a point in time, they're looking to control. They don't even like it. So, enjoy your youth. You understand? Enjoy your youth. You are beautiful the way you are. You are beautiful. You are just beautiful the way you are. So at this point, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Christ Hill School. Thank you so much for that talk show. Thank you very much. I want you all to come out. I want to appreciate you. I bought you some little gifts. Please come in, Christ Hill School. Thank you so much for acting that talk show. The ones that participated in the talk show, please. Okay, the ones that participated, please come. Let me just give you something. Thank you so much. Thank you. No, the girl, the red. Yes, thank you so much. Another red for the girl. Thank you so much. Busola, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let's take a picture together. Oh no, don't be envious of these people. They rehearsed. I drilled them very well. Sometimes I would say no. I was there during the rehearsal. They took time. They had to talk to their parents. On Saturdays they were there rehearsing. Very big thank you to Mrs. Dreams. Please, can she come? Please put her hands together for her. Thank you very much. She's the head of the Learning and Development of Christ Hill School. To all the teachers from the schools represented here, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you for taking time out to bring these children here. And I want to say a very big thank you to everybody, to all the teachers. You go through a lot, you know. They say the reward of a teacher is in heaven. No, you will get it on it in Jesus' name. I'd like to say a very big thank you to every people from the media house, my friends from Love World, Voice of Nigeria, TVC, and all on LVC, all the other media organizations. I wish everybody a very safe journey back home. Thank you very much. Okay, somebody is asking how much is the book. The book is expensive. It's 5,500. I love because it was for students. Okay, 4,000. If you're a student, you can pick it for 4,000 naira. Because the book was printed at 3,800 naira for one. Yeah, so that's it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you want to buy, you can buy. I'm not sure it's online yet. Mr. Nak, please, is the book online? She said she's going to send the link online. Hold on. All right, finally, before I leave, 10 schools. We have 10 free books from our pastor. He wants to give out 10 free books from his book to What God Says About Dating. Yes, what God says about dating. And also, a student from Christ Hill School, he said he has one for you too. What God says about dating. I'll leave the microphone with him. All right, I remain your one and only Sly, aka Dramendra of Wazobia FM. If I do a clap for me. All right, thank you. I'll be seeing you guys in the future. Do well, stay blessed, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Please, the same representative for the schools can come and collect one copy. There's a book. This book was launched yesterday. It was launched yesterday. So the representative for each of the school should come. I'm giving you just one. A representative. Okay. Okay.
Are you representative of the school?
The representative. You are the one that represented them.
DJ, let's go, let's go, let's go. Dance, dance, dance. Come on, everybody. This floor is open.
I want to flex my love. I want to press. And I want to carry my love to a place she loves. I'm a woman. I want to press. And I want to carry my love to a place she loves. I'm a body corner, and your body people. Loving you, they make me forget, say I get no step. By the end of the night, after bathroom pressure, I want to flex my love, I want to press, and I want to carry my love to a place she loves. I'm a woman, I want to press, and I want to carry my love to a place she loves.
That is me, I know you are the key. The ghetto master, the ghetto, all the bling bling bling. So you